Welcome into our lives.
And welcome to the Expanders Club podcast.
We're so happy to have you.
Join us as we embark on a journey of deep exploration, soul searching, and asking the hard questions.
With the goal of truly understanding the most aligned, empowered, and purposeful versions of ourselves.
We want to live an extraordinary life, and we're willing to dig deep to find out what it takes.
Buckle up. You're about to meet a new version of yourself, an extraordinary one. Hello, my friends, you lovely, lovely beings. Welcome to the Expanders Club podcast. I'm your host, Brooke Harris, an oracle, a spiritual coach, teacher, transformation teacher, and hopefully a friendly guide on your expansion, self-actualization, alignment, whatever word you want to put in there, journey. So grateful to be here with you today. And really grateful for today's guest. She is fabulous, has a ton of good energy. Her name is Carrie Fabris. She's an executive coach transforming leaders, teams, and culture. And we talk about maintaining balance, purpose, and impact within a leadership role. She's a working mom, so has all kinds of advice on certainly balance and, I don't want to say perfecting it all, but how to manage and navigate it all in a way that feels truly aligned. We talked about something that is really important to me. Certainly once I became a mom, it became even more important to me. And as I add a second child, the optimization of my time and energy. So she has this really cool approach on how to get a return on your energy and where to invest your energy. Talk about avoiding burnout. We talk about time management and identity leaks. She is a wealth of knowledge. I love that she has this lens of bringing it through leadership in a job, in a career. But as it always happens, once you kind of start this journey and start to dig into this information and these ideas of transformation and alignment and purpose, all roads lead down a spiritual path. So she has a really beautiful mix of grounded clarity, of understanding there's bigger energies at play, of understanding intuition, and bringing that all in to the workplace in a way that feels very approachable and not scary at all. Ton of great wisdom for you guys. I will link some information in the show notes of how to find her. She has a couple freebies to share. Definitely check out her content. Like I said, she has incredible energy and is just one of those beautiful magnetic energies to be around. So I hope you enjoy this one. See you soon. Carrie, hello and welcome to the Expanders Club podcast. So great to meet you and so excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I love that we're going to be expanding today.
We are. I mean, we're all expanding every day, aren't we? Whether
we
we're either by choice or reluctantly. But you, I'm so excited to dive in because everything you have to share is so relevant to our audience, and a lot of it's very relevant to me personally in my current stage of life. But can you first introduce yourself to everyone, please?
Sure. So, Carrie Fabris. I am in Dallas, Texas. I am a mom of two. I've got a business called Career Frame. We focus on leadership development. So companies will bring us in to really help their leaders reframe their careers as leaders that are creating amazing ripple effects or sometimes not so amazing ripple effects across an organization. I'm an author as well. I have two books. I have a children's book and I also have a book for working moms that kind of captures a period of time in my life when I was going from just completely frustrated to really finding a fulfilled life. And yeah, I love what I do and love being on podcasts and just sharing. And I always want to create positive impact with people that I talk to.
Thank you for that. And I want to pause for a moment because I know that you kind of lead with the corporate leadership, but before anyone tunes out, I think we're going to get into a lot of information that spans across any kind of leadership, which we're all experiencing in life. So
totally.
First question I have for you is what's your definition of a leader?
My definition of a leader is really just someone who influences other people. And I love how you said, everybody pause. We're not going down some corporate rabbit hole here. To your point, everyone is a leader in their own right. And I think it is just how you influence other people, how you show up as your best self, the impact you make, the ripple effect you create with everything you do, everything you say, how you show up, how you think, how you feel. I think leadership is such a gift. And again, whether you are in your job leading other humans or you are leading your 4-year-old, there's definitely some similarities with how you lead people at work and how you lead people at home. So I would just say people who influence in a way to make a positive impact for people, for others.
Yeah, I love that. And with that, because even as you were speaking, I was for some reason going to there can be really bad leaders too, right? I mean,
100%.
I think
That's why I got into what I do.
I think we're all experiencing the ripple effect of
Yes.
some bad leadership. What do you see? Like, what are the big? Because it's interesting the way you described it is like the ripple effect, how you show up and how you impact others. That's every single person.
It is it's every single person. You know, I often will remind people that we are 100% responsible for ourselves. And a lot of times we forget that. We just get so in the moment, we're very quick to blame others, accuse others. And it's like, hold on a second, let's be accountable for how we are thinking, we're feeling, what we're saying, what we're doing, how we're showing up. And there are plenty of bad leaders out there. And leaders make or break a situation. I want to be real mindful to not just say team and, go down the corporate path. It really does make or break a situation with another person of how are you demonstrating what greatness can look like. I think we all have our own definition of greatness. We all have our own definition of success. And it really is about just what you want to put out into the world and how you want to impact other people. It's okay to have a bad day and show up in a shit mood. I think it's important to own it.
Yes.
And just say, hey, you know what? I was not in a great space. And I came in and basically just projected all of that onto you. Not cool. I want to back up and let me try this again. I think a lot of people are scared to just say that and own how they know they're showing up and just reframe it, as we like to say at Career Frame.
I can tell you trigger a lot of people, I'm sure. Because
it's like, here's the mirror. Let's
yes,
look at it.
Yes. And would you say this concept, this embodiment of personal responsibility is like the number one trait of a good leader?
I think it is definitely a top trait. Sure. Yeah. I think there's a lot of facets that make someone an exceptional leader. But I do think that a very top trait is just being your authentic self. And if your authentic self, well, let me just even stop before I was about to say this. I don't know that anyone's authentic self is an asshole. I think that really, I think that really at our core, we all are good people. We want to be good people. We want to be helpful. We want to serve. Life, circumstances, experiences kind of chisel it away sometimes if we let it.
I love that because I don't know if you know this, I'm an oracle, so I tap in and read people's souls and their soul desires, their soul's path, their soul's journey.
I love that.
But I would agree with you on that. I've never seen a bad soul.
No.
Right?
No.
But
we don't come into this planet bad. Like we come to the planet as this just human or this soul that I think wants to do beautiful things. Again, just life. So we let life get in the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the question is, how far are you from being in touch with that? I think you called it authenticity, that soul. Yeah. Tell me about your experience with that in the field. Like, have you show up, I know you work with a lot of big corporations. You show up. Have you ever come across someone in a leadership position that you're like, oh shit, there's no transformation. There's no transformation path for them. Like,
I have. And my approach, when you say, I bet I trigger a lot of people. I tell people up front, I'm a tough love coach. So I'm going to care about you and I'm going to show up full energy, focused on you, wanting to help you get to where you want to go. I'm also going to really hold you to it.
Yeah.
And so if you kick and scream and he and ha, and I start hearing excuses, some of my clients, I like a lot of it's virtual. So if I do the heart hands, the Taylor Swift heart hands, they're like, oh God, here it comes. That's kind of like, hi, are you ready? And they're like, go ahead. And I'm like, what the, and then I just kind of get in there and I'm like, what are you doing? And like, this is what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah.
Is like, how is that serving you? And so then we start to unpack. So I find a way to get people uncomfortable, but not in a place where they shut down. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I definitely have come across C-suite executives, SVPs, VPs, multiple levels of people. They're just like, what is this? Like, I don't need this. This is a waste of my time. All of those excuses, and they're excuses. And of course, the people that show up like that are the ones that need it the most.
Yes.
But I have boundaries, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to show up with my energy and support for you if you're not going to show up with energy and support for you. So sure. Yeah. Many, no one say many, plenty of leaders in the 10 years that I've just said, okay, well, this either this isn't working or I'm not a fit for you, because that's always something too. Like we coaches, fit is crucial. Because you're going to open up to this person. You're going to get vulnerable with this person. You're going to share things with your coach that you don't share with others. And so you got to have a fit. So sometimes it's just that.
Yeah. And there's also, sometimes people are forced into leadership positions. We're talking about, of course,
without a doubt,
business, work, relationships. But talk to me about, because I think we've all felt and seen this, like the born leaders. Right?
Sure.
Like have this certain
sure
charisma. I think the kids call it Riz, right? The Rizzy, Rizzy.
I like asked my daughter, I'm like, do I have Riz? Please tell me I have Riz.
You have Riz, girl. Let me tell you, you're Rizzy for sure. The Rizzy versus the like forced into it. Tell me what you see there. What are the differences? Like, is that a path can someone who's not a born leader grow into it in an easy way, or are they just destined to play a different role in society?
Yeah, I love that question so much, because I had a coffee meeting this morning and we talked about that exact topic. One of my favorite questions I love to ask a leader is, money and title off the table, why are you in a leadership role?
Yes.
Because I always want to know, it's not about the title and the pay. It's about the impact you are making with your team and across the organization. And so there are plenty of people who are really excellent at what they do. So their leader taps their shoulder and says, I want you to go lead this team.
Right.
So when I see situations like that, I'm looking at the top leader. I'm going, what are you doing? What are you doing? Did you even ask this person if they want to lead? Do they even know how to lead? Because a lot of times a senior leader will put someone in a leadership role and not give them any training, no coaching, no leadership development. And then this person is trying to kind of make stuff up. And if they don't want to lead, because let's just say, I'm a certified Gallup Clifton Strengths coach. So I'm all about, are you in your zone of genius or are you not?
Yes.
And so if someone is put in a role, but they're more introverted, their execution, they just want to be left alone, head down to do their stuff, they might not be a super impactful leader. And that's okay. That's completely okay. But it is sad and kind of frustrating to watch. It's hard to watch them in that mode of having to lead when they really don't want to. I have several clients like that, actually. And we spend a lot of time talking about all the energy that they're using in this role. And it's like, okay, well, how can we use your strengths to make it work for you? But that kind of, and all those things. But yeah, there are plenty of people that are put in leadership roles that don't want to be there. And then there are the born leaders, like you said, that really just know how to influence others. They know how to inspire others. They get excited by developing other people.
Yeah.
And it's a personality. So they're just kind of, and a lot of it, a lot of people are born with that. And then some people aren't. And then there's also the other category of, I didn't really think I wanted to be a leader, but I'm actually kind of having fun with this. And I kind of like making an impact. And they become, they become that leader that they didn't know that they were to become.
How does someone understand or figure out their zone of genius?
So, at a high level, I tell people when you are working on something and you look up and you're like, where did the last 4 hours go? You know you're in your zone of genius.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. It is when your energy is so high. You like notice, like subconsciously, you almost have like a little smile on your face almost. You have an intense focus because you want to, not because you were asked to.
Yes.
And again, time flies by. Now there are different zones. There's a zone of incompetence, there's zone of competence, zone of excellence, and then zone of genius. And so this is Gay Hendricks, the author of The Big Leap. He talks about these four zones. And, a lot of us hang out in our zone of excellence. Very different from zone of genius. And so that zone of genius is, again, it's about what energizes you, and like you would do it and don't even care if you got paid a penny to do it. You love it so much. And so it's really just doing that inventory of, do I love what I do? And I don't care if I get paid. I get so lit up. I have so much fun. Time just doesn't even exist. That's when you're in your zone of genius.
Damn. How do we, that's a mirror for me, so thank you.
Sure.
Not with this. I have, I have a whole other, I'm a CEO of a whole other business that I run. And my audience knows, I would say I'm in my zone of excellence with that. I think I'm a born leader mostly in that I've just been in leadership positions my entire life. But I'm also like, is this what I'm meant to lead? And I already know the answer to that.
I was going to say, if you're asking yourself the question,
yes,
then you have the answer.
And I've known the answer for a long time, but I am excellent at it. And, it's important in a lot of ways, but I'm not in my zone of genius in it. I would not do it for free. And I think that's probably very relatable to a lot of people. So if you are in a moment where you're like, okay, I'm in my zone of excellence, but this isn't it. This isn't the big, expansive thing. This isn't what I'm meant to do. How do you think about shifting that?
First, I think you have to allow yourself to dream about what that zone of genius is. I think that a lot of us have the shitty self-talk that kicks in. And, well, you couldn't possibly. Well, who do you think you are? Like, no, that's dumb. Like all the not self-serving things we tell ourselves when it comes to expanding and doing something different or pivoting or any of that kind of stuff. And I think that we really need to allow ourselves to dream and have those thoughts. And then you just start. You try something. No one says, some people are just like, clean slate, cold turkey, I'm going in. That's what I did, actually, when I pivoted to 20 plus years in travel and working at Google and Sabre, Travelocity, Travel Years Corporate. I was in leadership for 15 of those 20 plus years. And I took a step back and then just was like, if I could do anything, what would I do? Like, I don't think a lot of us ask ourselves that question.
Yes.
I asked myself that question in my backyard, pushing my daughter into swing, and here I am, So I think we have to allow ourselves to ask that question of, if I could do anything, like, what would it be? And then you just go, could I do that? And then you start.
I think what I've witnessed for people is they can ask the question, but then they can't cross that bridge to get to the answer. Sure. Or they can't allow themselves to hear the answer. Like,
so then it's like, why am I not letting myself?
Yeah.
Who am I afraid I'm going to upset or offend? Because that's the thing. You know this. I know you know this. When we grow and we evolve and people around us they don't like it. So they say things, they want to, pull us back down to their level. And you got to put the blinders on. It's almost like you have to say, thank you for your thoughts, I'm moving on. Or thank you for your thoughts, those don't serve me, or whatever. To get to that, it takes courage to do that. And I like to think that when something really matters, it's really important, we're going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if we're not doing it, maybe it doesn't matter as much. It sounds really good, but maybe it doesn't matter as much. And we have to own that. But I think if it matters, really matters, we'll do it.
And I think beyond the making the conscious decision to do it, like sometimes the universe helps us decide,
Yes,
right?
it
Like
does.
the
Yes, it
catalyst of
does.
like, okay, well now you don't have that job anymore.
You know what's so funny? So I just got back from a ski trip last night, and I was and it was funny. I was thinking about this podcast because I'm skiing in Vail, and I am on this stunning run. It's called Poppy Fields. And I just was like, I feel so expansive right now because I felt so tiny. It was just like
Yes.
this huge, expansive run. And so when I get in that mode, I'm just talking with the universe, and I'm just like, thank you. Like there are
Yes.
billions of people that are never going to see what I'm seeing right now. Like thank you for this life, thank you for this. So anyway, I'm boarding my plane last night, and I'm just in this beautiful state of mind. And there's a really tall man in front of me, and it's up on the sign. It says caution, and it shows someone tripping, and it says uneven something. But when I looked at it, what I read was caution, universe. And I was like,
Oh shit.
I know, I was like, wait, what? Because, I'm all about like, what are the signs? What am I supposed to be
Yes.
seeing? And so then I sat there, and I was stood there just waiting to get on the plane. And I'm like, I wonder if like I'm going to literally trip into something that the universe is wanting, like, okay, you stubborn ass, I'm just going to have to full on push you in a certain direction. But I had a little laugh about that. I was like, because I don't know that the universe wants to caution me, but I was like more focused on the tripping. Like, be careful, I'm about to push your ass, and you're going to need to catch yourself.
Sometimes it does, because I think the universe wants us to learn things in the easiest way possible, right? Or
Yeah.
choose things in the easiest way possible. So I think there's always plenty of signs. It's a matter of if we're allowing ourselves to see
Yeah.
them, and then more importantly listen to them.
Yeah.
But that theme is so perfect for the astrology and the energy of the universe right now. We're
Right now,
in
yes.
eclipse season, Mercury retrograde, the lunar eclipse, the full moon. Like,
Yeah.
you'll have to let us know.
Celestial
You'll have to
stuff.
let us know
I'll be
what's
like,
coming
so
for you.
I did trip, and here's what happened. That was amazing from that.
Yes. Yeah, tell me, because I know I want to get into some of the systems that you use and the ways that you help people, but I have to imagine, as I was reading about you and looking at your information and clearly in this conversation, I have to imagine that while you are in a corporate world for the most part, and while you're using systems and things that are in language that's very logical, I have to imagine there's a spiritual piece to all this, whether you vocalize it or it's just something that you faced for yourself.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about that journey?
Yeah. I mean, first I'll say when a company brings our team in to work with their leaders, we do have our Frame It method, and that's our signature method that we walk these leaders through. And the F of Frame It is foundational, and it is all about energy, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And so in a corporate environment, you want to be mindful of how you approach spiritual stuff. So I'm always asking the person, like, how do you define spiritual? Like, it's like purpose and meaning, but and we can call it something else if spiritual is triggering. Like, you just always want to be sensitive to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we do start with the human. We want to know how the human is feeling physically, mentally, emotionally. And then again, what is your purpose? What is your meaning in a leadership
Yes.
role or just in life in general? And we really, that's where we start as we get to know the person. Spiritually for myself, I've done so much work on myself. It's like literally the whole part 2 of my book, All In, of just getting to a place where I can really trust where I'm supposed to be is exactly where I'm supposed to be at any given time, you know, and making sure that I'm trusting the universe, I'm trusting the signs, I'm trusting myself and things like that. And so I do that. That's my spiritual side, is just really trusting a higher source that I can't see.
Yeah. I want to tap in, not to like harp on this, but the word trust right now I think is very important for all of us. And it's a theme that's coming up. What does that look like for you to trust? You named all the important things to trust, right?
Yeah.
What does that actually look like for you? Because I think that people want that. but don't really understand what that means, and that it's not necessarily an active thing.
I like to ask people what their definition of trust is, because I think we do all define it differently. And I mean, I'm always going to be real and authentic with myself and with anybody else I talk to. And that is, I've had a journey with trust myself. You know, it's like trust but verify. Well, is that really trusting? You know? So for me, it is, there's a lot, again, this is just for me, for Carrie. There's a lot of mindset work with trust.
Yes. Yes.
It is really focusing on the things, like if I say I want to do something, let's just say I want to hit a revenue goal. And I've already hit that revenue goal in the past, but maybe I didn't hit it last year, right? Maybe it was 2 years ago. It's like, well, but you can't unsee that you did it. You know you can do it. So you trust that. So I think sometimes there is the trusting because you see the proof more analytically. Then there's more the connection side where you trust and there isn't proof.
Right.
But I think that when we trust things that we can't see, we actually will see signs, results, things that we can go, okay, I can't explain that. Like I cannot make this up. I don't even know how to explain that synchronicity that just happened.
Yeah.
And so when you start to feel those things and see those things, you know, that's when I think that trust builds. I am literally in real time going through my own like next chapter of mindset work when it comes to trusting where my business is going, trusting where our financial situation is going. And it's also just like, well, Carrie, what, I mean, not trusting isn't going to do you any good.
Yes. That.
Where focus goes, energy flows. So if I sit here and I worry and then I wonder why stuff isn't showing up, it's because there's too much negative resistance and doubt versus going, of course it's going to. I don't know how, I don't know when, but it will.
Yes.
And just telling myself that, and again, that's the invisible until the visible shows up and then reinforces it. So
I think that's one of the best things about being an adult, right? Is that you have history to look back on, because I agree with that. The one like reflection I feel like is so important, and to be like, why is it going to be okay? Because it's always been okay, or I've always gotten through it, or I've always figured it out.
Okay. Yeah. I think that we, again, our brains, they're such assholes. I mean, they really are. And they just talk us into just an anxiety, just an anxious ball. And it's like, you're going to be okay.
Yes.
You're always going to be okay because you're always going to be exactly where you are supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, how you're supposed to be there. And then someone's like I was listening to Mel Robbins, one of her episodes recently, and she's like, but like, what if I'm really not happy where I am? Like, what do I do? You know? And it's like, well, you, again, get in the right mindset, and then you have to take action. You can't just meditate and manifest everything. It's meditate, manifest, and take some action in order to produce the results that you would like to produce. And then that's when you just trust yourself to, and we get so in our way with the things we tell ourselves that are just, we're not kind to ourselves. And so we just need to be a little nicer to ourselves, and I think we'll get what we want.
Well, and I think to keep it on the subject of leadership, like this is a moment, like your actions are true leadership, right? Like you're talking about a position that I think a lot of us are feeling right now where, you know, tell me if this resonates based on what you were saying, but like I'm looking at a portal that I'm about to walk through, you know, and obviously mine has to do with birth, but of course everything else is coming in, and it's just like, okay, I know there's a transformation coming, and the resistance, the fear, the whatever, all the things that come up, yes, but I'm going through, just like you, we're going through that portal no matter what, whether we want to or not. And what an opportunity for people who are already in leadership positions to go through a transformation and with our eyes wide open and showcase like, hey, it's okay to pivot, to transform, to change, to do things differently. Like, I think that is a really important form of leadership, like the ability to, going back to, again, authenticity, but like it's a different level of authenticity, right? Like truly, truly trusting that knowing and your ability to know in every second and show
Yeah.
up and be ready to just
Yeah.
do whatever comes your way in the
Yeah.
name of your highest and greatest good.
Well, and the more adaptive we can be, the better we'll feel.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really important to look at things that are going right, not just things that are going wrong. And when we get in the busy, and busy is a word I actively listen for with my clients. I'm like, if you're busy, like that's such a crappy word.
Yes.
Everybody's busy. Good for you. Check the box. Okay? Like we're all busy. But if we're intentional about things and we're saying, you know, things are really full, things are really productive, you know, it just changes the way you sound, you feel, what you're projecting. And when we can say, there is so much, like I was actually on a call with somebody the other day with a client. And and it's funny because she knows how I feel about about the word busy. And she's like, okay, girl, I'm going to say it. Things are busy. And she goes, and you know what? It's really exciting. And I was like, what? I'm like, okay, that is such a shift in you.
Yes.
Saying, like, I was not expecting that at all. Like when I heard the B word, I was not expecting you to say it's really exciting. I'm like, oh my God, tell me everything. What is so exciting? What has you so enthusiastic about the busy? And I loved it. It was such an awesome conversation. And I think a lot of people though get caught up in the busy, and it's like a brush off. Oh, yeah, I would love to have lunch. I'm so busy, but yeah, we'll make it happen. It's never going to happen.
Right.
And so I just want to always encourage all of us to not get so bogged down in the suck, because there's always going to be something that sucks. And I'm not suggesting we walk around, everything's amazing, everything's awesome, because then that turns into toxic positivity. It's the balance. It's like if we can all just go for balance. And that's like with a career frame, we help people balance leadership and life, because they're both happening, you know? And so there's good and there's suck.
Yeah.
With everything.
And it's almost like maintaining neutrality, right? Like a non-reactivity. And I think that for leaders, that's probably really uncomfortable. Because you're used.
I love that you said that word. I love that you said that word. Because this is something new for me that I've been doing with this mindset work I've been doing. Is anytime if my brain, something pops up that feels negative, or if it goes into any of the lower energy vibration, you know, shame, guilt, you know, all of those things, I now go, pause. We're just neutral right now.
Yes.
I catch myself and I say, we're just neutral right now. And the minute I say that, I instantly feel calmer. I mean, this is super new. So I love that you brought up that word. And I want to encourage your listeners to try this, because we all know when the negative thoughts, we hear them. Yes. But the progress is when we hear it and we intercept it. And so I'm actively practicing that now. It's like, nope, we're neutral right now. And we're going to build on the neutral.
Yes.
I don't have to be, everything's fantastic if it's not,
yes.
You know, but I love that you said that.
Well, it's something I've been working on for a long time too. And it's actually, I feel like I've arrived, but it's oddly uncomfortable to be neutral.
Yes.
It's helping me move through life in a much more beautiful way. And it makes sense, right? Imagine, like, could you solve and witness problems better if you were on the roller coaster, or if you were standing to the side, like watching the roller coaster, right? So it totally makes sense from a logical place, but it is an uncomfortable position to be in when you're used to, and this might not be a good trait of mine as a leader, but being in it, being reactive, solving the problem immediately, like feeling the rise and fall of the emotions of the good and bad. And it's like, no, everything's just kind of neutral, and you're just kind of witnessing, and like, yes, still solve problems, but you give space to the problem to really see it from all sides. And it's really beautiful and really odd.
Totally. I have an acquaintance that's turning into a friend. We've exchanged phone calls. We haven't met each other, but We got
phone
connected.
calls is big in 2026. There's very few people that
phone calls and voice texts. But we got connected through one of my best friends, and this person is about to have a major surgery, and she's going to have a recovery for a few months, and she's already a little scared and nervous about the slowdown.
yeah.
Right? Just laying there, resting with her thoughts, you know? And I'm like, okay, yep, been there, done that. I actually had this same surgery 10 years ago, so I understand what she's about to go through. And it was like, and you know what? There is beauty in the pause. And it is scary because we women and we moms, we're just go, and we're juggling a million things at once. Not only just ourselves, but then our kids and then our partners and our businesses and the dog and the fish and everything, you know, and the groceries and just everything. And so I just was trying to encourage her. I was like, just lean into the scared feeling.
Yeah.
Lean into it, you know, because there's so much learning there. And I say a lot to people, I'm like, you know, joy is just standing there waiting for all of us on the other side of whatever it is that we need to get through. And I have not met anyone yet that can tell me how to get to joy without going through pain first. I'm like, if you know how that's done, please tell me. I'm all ears. And a lot of us don't want pain. I don't know a lot of us that do. It's a beautiful teacher when we just sit with it and we take one step at a time. We stay neutral and we're observing, like you said, and we listen to the thoughts and we explore them. It's like, okay, why did I just say that shitty thing to myself? Where is that really coming from? Is that my story? Is that someone else's story? Is that programming? Like, is that fear? Like, what is that? And there's so much joy in doing that work.
And I think about too, could this whole human experience, right? And the point of the highs and the lows. But could we truly understand, appreciate, experience true joy if we didn't also know and experience the opposite?
Right. Great question.
Yeah, I think the answer is no. And I think it's just something fun to think about, especially in the harder times. It's like, okay, what is this expanding me for? What is this teaching me?
Yeah.
I've gone through enough, and it sounds like you have too, enough of those moments, those, we'll call them transformations, to know like the other side is always bigger or more expansive. There's always something really special and great waiting.
Yeah.
But I think when you're in it, you're just like, come on.
Well, no, totally. And that's where the trust comes in, right?
Yes.
It's just like, it is, sometimes it feels like it's like blind trust. It's just, when you're in the suck and the pain, it's really trusting that everything is temporary.
Yeah.
Everything's temporary. The good and the bad. It's temporary. And to your point, from the amazing moments, we get to experience that feeling of joy and that happiness. And so in the not amazing moments, we can think about those. And so like as I'm skiing on the mountain on Sunday, having that moment of just like, oh my gosh, like this view. And here I am, and it's gorgeous. And this huge mountain, expansive, mountain I run, just thinking about my husband and my kids and how blessed I am that I have them. We call ourselves the Fab Four because we're Fabris.
I love that.
I was like, why did not do Fantastic Four? But I like Fab Four. And there was a time I didn't have the three of them. And now I do. And so it's like when you just allow yourself those moments to be like, I would like to thank myself. I like to thank, like Snoop Dogg. I'd like to thank me. I'd like to thank me for believing in me and for choosing this husband and for birthing these two children. I'd like to thank me. We got to do that every now and then.
And that's the reward of taking personal responsibility, right? I think it feels like a double-edged sword. The personal responsibility feels right to me. It feels so necessary. Anytime I've done that, the work I've done around it, it completely changes the world around me. Yeah. But I think it's newer to us, and especially I think we're a generation that's bringing it in, whereas our parents maybe relied on religion or God or these other things very much outside of them, and I think there is maybe a certain piece to that, but the more you can exercise this personal responsibility and see results, like that's the reward that you'd had, that moment of freedom, of gratitude, of bliss.
It's claiming your power. when you blame other people for how you feel, that is giving them your power. When you give credit to other people for why you got something, nothing happens for us or to us that we don't allow.
Yep.
And that we don't create. And so, that's another thing too. I really, I don't want to say I enjoy it because that doesn't sound right, but there's a little bit of enjoyment. When I experience in a corporate setting, someone blaming somebody, when you made me do da, 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 I'm like, no, they didn't. They, again, back to what I said at the beginning of our conversation, you are 100% responsible for what you do, what you say, how you feel, all the things. Nobody can make you feel a certain way. And if you don't understand that, go get Viktor Frankl's book, The Man's Search for Meaning, and you will understand how you are in control of the emotions you have, the feelings you have. Sure, circumstances can be, people are put in really awful circumstances against their will, all of those things. That is a whole different rabbit hole we could talk about. But again, in that book that I just mentioned, are you familiar with that book?
No, I'm not, but
Man's Search for Meaning. I mean, it's an extraordinary story of mindset and just the things this man experienced and what he saw, and what was taken from him and everything else. And, it's sometimes it's a hard concept for people to embrace because it's so much easier to just blame somebody else. It's your fault that I'm in this situation. It's really not. It's yours. So it's about ownership.
Yeah. And I think if you can't understand this concept, it's probably time to get help, like a coach. You own a coaching business. So
I do.
Can you tell us a little bit? I have a coach I swear by, and I've had, I've had a whole team at points in my
great.
At points in my
That's
life
awesome.
To help through different transitions. I'm a huge believer in coaching, and I agree everyone should have a coach.
Everyone should have a coach. Yep.
Can you talk to us a little bit about why you decided to build that business and what that's looked like?
Yeah. Real quick before I answer that, I want to just explain to your audience the difference of a coach, because someone can say, well, I'm a therapist, right? So there's a therapist, there's a coach, there's a mentor. A therapist is someone that you can simply just verbally vomit to, talk to. They will listen. They will hold space. They will ask, they'll ask some questions. A coach does all of those things as well, but will challenge you to actually do something about it and then hold you accountable for it.
Yes.
So they're like the one that's really helping you with truly make the change, not just sit there and talk about the pain, right?
Yes.
A mentor is someone who has done something that you want to do and they show you how to get there and what to do. So I just always like to define those three because again, so many times when it's like, everyone needs a coach. Well, I have a therapist. Amazing. So do I. We also need a coach. I have both. I have a therapist and a coach. I got into this because I had that moment when I asked myself if there's anything, if there was anything that I could do, what would it be? And I loved leadership so much. And I was like, I've got some great experience leading at Google and at Sabre. And I had high performing, amazing remote teams before remote was a thing.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was like, I think I can help. I think I can help people be better. I think I can give them some, again, a safe, confidential place, non-judgment or zero judgment zone of just like, what's coming up for you? This is what, and I tell people I'm a coach and advisor because I ask questions and I want to pull it out of you. And then I also go, I did this and this worked for me and da-da-da-da-da. Does that resonate? And so it's really both. So it's grown into this business. I called it Career Frame because at the beginning I knew I didn't want to be a life coach. I was like, can I help you with some life? Sure. Have I experienced a lot of different things in life? Yes, I have. But I also didn't want to be that. I really cared about the corporate environment. So I was like, I want to be a career coach. And so I was sitting on my friend's couch and it was like, I want to help people reframe their careers to be better. So then it was like Career Frame. 10 years later, it's really evolved into more leadership coaching, not just in the very early days. It was, let's look at your resume. Let's look at your LinkedIn profile. Let's make sure you're ready for interviews, stuff like that. We don't do that anymore. We are now strictly leadership development and workshops and facilitating offsites and things like that. I really just wanted to help people be better with their, at work and with their teams. And it feels good. It's like crack. Well, I'm assuming I've never taken crack, but I'm assuming that it's like, just there's an addiction to when someone goes, Carrie, you helped me with this massive aha that totally shifted how I showed up with my team. And now we're collaborating. We're doing this. It is the best feeling in the world to me. And so I just decided to go down that path of helping people be better at work. And we've been doing it now 10 years and just having a great time. We're going through our third brand redo. So we're launching our new website here in the next couple weeks, new logo. Our Frame It method is going to officially be front and center on our website, all of these things. We have a small team there's 5 of us, and we just all really love coaching people to be better. I have seen with our clients that they appreciate when their leader gives them this space.
Yes.
When they give them someone that is third party, HR departments are incredible, necessary, serve what they need to do for the people. But I've also, in my experience, seen that not everyone's going to be completely forthright with HR.
Right.
They're just not going to be 100% honest and vulnerable. So we come in as that support system. We're advising the senior leaders, we're advising HR, but we're giving the individual the place to truly be themselves and to say all the things they need to say. And that side of coaching is just, it's very rewarding to really just help people be better.
And what a beautiful opportunity, right? The access point through a business coach. Yeah. To have that access point and have it be, a gift given by your employer. But I can only imagine the ripple effect the work that you do with them has in their entire life.
Yeah.
So I love people who wouldn't be open to maybe coaching in a different way, have the opportunity to access, because I'm sure and can speak to, it's all one. Like you can't,
it's all one.
You can't separate it.
Yeah, we're going to balance leadership in life. And so I very much believe as we work together, and my goal is always to build or to earn your trust. Right? It's like first, like there's got to be a fit both ways. I want to be excited to coach you, and I want you to want to be excited to be coached by me or someone on my team and our team. And when we are going through these motions and we're starting to get to know each other, life always comes up. Life always comes up, and then you get to know someone on a personal level, which makes the coaching experience so much more expansive because we're coming at all sides.
Yes.
And sometimes it's like they show up and they have a leadership thing they need to talk about. And sometimes they're like, I've got so much going on at home right now. And I'm like, do you need to talk about that? I'm like, I'm not a therapist. I am your coach and I am here to hold space for you. So if the space that you need me to hold is to talk about what's going on personally in this confidential zone, because it's impacting how you're showing up with your team, let's talk about it. Yeah. But they leave that. We're not going to go, well, tell me everything that's going on at home. It's, do you want to talk about this? Yeah. And so over the years, we work with clients 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and just of having these relationships with these leaders. And it's fantastic. I love it.
I love that
and I want more.
Yes. Yes. Everyone needs a coach. Every CEO listening, we've had different times in our business where we've had coaches for our team members. Like I said, myself and I run the business with my husband. We both have our own coaches that have helped so much. And you think you're showing up for business stuff, but it's, my poor coach, we go into the weird, the woo, the energy. Like I know he's talking about stuff he's not talking about with a lot of his clients. And I think it's fun for him. Yeah. But we've been together 3 years, and the difference it has made in my life is, and like you said, the accountability, the helping point in the right direction, the efficiency that it's created in my life. And that's another thing that I want to talk about that you really bring to the table is helping people understand where to use their energy, and where I want to use the language like energy efficiency. I don't know if that's language that you use,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
I think that's incredibly important to anyone who is, working, but also like as a mother.
Yep.
I saw immediately, I was like, as when I became a mother, I was like, okay, time to become the most efficient person ever. And I think that kind of forces you to figure out a lot of the things that you talk about. But can you talk a little bit about that?
About the energy efficiency?
Yeah, and how one starts to navigate the doing versus the things that are actually like doing all the things, because that's not doesn't necessarily, just because you, like you said, busy or have a lot on your plate, that doesn't mean you're doing a good job.
That's right. I think that we, when we look at everything on the to-do list, and especially overachievers, we want to be great at everything, and we're not going to be great at everything. We might be great at 3 things. So I think that it's really taking inventory of the things that are on your list, prioritizing those lists, personally and professionally. And when you prioritize those, then you know really where your energy needs to go. Because a lot of times we will have things on our list because we just think it's something we have to take care of. It's like, delegate that stuff.
Yes.
Delegate it to someone on your team. Ask for help at home. A lot of moms don't do that. Yes, we're all Wonder Women, but we don't have to be all the time. So it's, what are the things that have to get done, the must get done? And then what are the nice to haves? And of the nice to haves, can I pass this to someone else, or can I ask someone to help me with this? So you're not burning the candle at both ends. Of course, being a strengths coach, I want to talk about that. And that, the Clifton Strengths Assessment is, I love it so much. I love Clifton Strengths so much. Because it really does give you something to call it. I don't want to say it's labels. Okay. There are talent themes in this assessment. With that talent theme, it gives you something to call it. So you can understand when you're in your energy zone, your top 5, top 10, when you're not, your bottom 5, and you communicate about it. So, if you're being asked to do something personally or professionally that is in the strengths world, there's 34 talents in this assessment. And let's say you are constantly being asked to do something that is constantly tapping one of your bottom talents.
Yeah.
You got to do something about that. Or you are literally creating energy leaks, and your return on energy, or ROE, is not positive. It is a negative ROE. So when you identify those things, then that's when you can delegate it to someone who does light up with that. Like my last talent is ideation. I do not get energy from coming up with ideas, creating ideas, connecting ideas. I'm going to phone a friend. Okay. I'm going to say, I know you love this.
Yes.
So this is what I'm thinking. Now go. Tell me what you come up with. I used to have really low empathy. I'm happy to say it's a little higher. Back in the day when it wasn't, my closest, seriously, my 3 best friends are empathy number 1. Phone a friend. Okay.
Yes.
How do I handle this? Because I'm super uncomfortable and I don't want to be bitchy. I feel like I need to do something meaningful, but I'm so uncomfortable. I don't know how to respond. So then it's like, well, here's what I would do. Great. So it's just learning where, again, back to that zone of genius. That's where you're going to get energy efficiency. It's the zone of incompetence, but yet you're being asked to do it by somebody else. You phone a friend. And it's just allowing yourself to just admit it and own it. Like, I don't want to do this. Okay, then let's not do it. Let's find someone someone who can. And just being really honest with yourself so you can stay in that energy zone and, again, have that high ROE.
And I think that's where the awareness of everyone in a group, whether it be a corporate environment or a family environment, right, knows and understands one another's strengths. Do you guys do that? Do you come in and do the testing for all of the C-suite or
absolutely? That's what my team, they will do a lot of the one-on-ones for manager, director, VPs. I tend to really focus on the executive team. And then I also am the one that does the workshops, the facilitation of group dynamics and team conversations. But yes, a lot of times clients, that's actually where we start with a lot of companies.
Yeah.
Is they will bring us in, they want to do the team dynamics of the senior executive team. And then usually it's like, okay, this was really interesting. Now what? And it's like, well, let's start cascading it. We can turn this into a strengths-based organization, one team at a time. And then we're showing up for these team meetings as an ongoing basis, making sure they're learning the language and that they're seeking to understand. And I always tell people, I'm like, do not get overwhelmed with 34 talents. You do not need to understand all 34 of these. You need to know your top 5.
Yes.
And you need to actively communicate about that top 5. And then ask somebody like, what is your strength that I need to know about? It's not up to you to memorize my strengths. It's up to you to ask me, what are your strengths so I understand? And so we just teach executives how to have this conversation. And then we start to trickle it and cascade it across their teams. And the impact it makes is unbelievable. I mean, Charles Schwab, Southwest Airlines, those are two that immediately come to my head that are strengths-based organizations. And I mean, Southwest is known for their culture as a great example, right? And so it makes such an incredible impact in an organization because it just amps up communication. And that's where everything is either built or it breaks down.
Yes. I mean, because at its simplest form, it's like knowing and understanding yourself and then how you operate within the group that's closest to you, right? Like, of course, that would be...
Yeah. And we,
that makes a ton of sense and would be useful.
We use Clifton Strengths, we use emotional intelligence, and we use situational leadership. And these are basically the triad and the core of our frame it method. So we're, how are you showing up personality wise? How are your emotions dictating how you show up? And then how are you adapting your leadership to each person that you lead? It's about them. It's not about you. It's not a one size fits all.
Yes.
And these three come together to really create an incredible leadership dynamic that changes an organization. And it's super fun to be a part of.
Yes. I love that. And I've seen that in my world in a very different, using very different tools like human design, understanding the human design of your whole family. Or Carrie, I think you'll appreciate this. I just did a thing with some girlfriends this weekend where we had our soul animals read. And we each got labeled this animal and we got to learn about how they operate within their systems and in their habitat and like how they show up in the world. And it's like, okay, so now we have something, we learn something about ourselves and also how we show up in group settings and how this group kind of works togetder. So
how do you find your soul animal? Do you just decide it or is there an assessment for that?
There's a soul animal reader. Who you speak to.
Of course.
If you want her contact, I will happily share it, and maybe some dream client of yours will you'll be able to work that and be like, okay, now everyone, we're gonna do a soul animal reading.
I love that. Curious what mine is. If you could see my background, you might suspect what I think mine is. I have owls everywhere.
I was gonna say I don't know a ton about owls. You're definitely an alpha, and I would say you're an alpha in group where the females are the alpha. So I'm an alpha female wolf.
Okay.
And they get very specific. I'm an Iberian gray wolf. Like,
okay.
It's very, very specific. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And the stuff she read off, it was for all of us. There were 6 of us in the group, and for everyone, we had a bear, we had a black bear, American black bear, we had a sea turtle, we had like hawks, like,
so
and
cool.
Everyone was so dead on, and it was just it's a fun way to
fun.
Just,
here's the thing, all that stuff, I love it. And like I tell people, I'm like, I don't know if it actually, if it's true, it doesn't matter. It's just fun.
Yeah,
it's fun to be curious about it and to talk about it. Like I don't know if numerology is a thing, if astrology is a thing, if soul animals a thing, if religion's a thing. Like it's all fascinating to talk about, be curious about,
And it's all just pieces of information.
Totally.
And at the end of the day, even with these assessments that you do, which are a much more logical approach, I'm sure at the end of the day, people are like, oh yeah, I kind of knew that. I felt that. I kind of knew that about myself,
Yes. They're like, and it's just scary how spot on it is. It's like,
it's all just reinforcing our own knowing and allowing us to like embrace and embody that more, giving us permission, right?
100%.
One last big question I have for you. I'm really curious, especially because it's so relevant in my life right now, and I know a lot of our listeners. How did motherhood and becoming a mother, or how did it, and how does it actively change how you show up in the world?
Yeah. My journey, so I lost my mom when I was little. And so becoming a mom, I mean, I was 8 when, well, I had just turned 9 when she passed away. And so becoming a mom and not having my mom was a very just interesting experience, right? And I am a fierce mama bear. My son is a special needs kid, a neurodivergent kid. And then my daughter is talented and gifted. I have like complete opposites when it comes to academics and social and all the things. And it changed me because of trauma that I had as a child. And unfortunately, losing my mom was not the first and only. Several others followed. It really helped me understand that I could love like that again. My mom was my human, right?
Yeah.
So I really could love like that again, and love wholeheartedly and unconditionally. And I was on another podcast recently where someone was asking me about how motherhood and leadership is alike. And I was like, it's all adaptive. It is. Parenting my son is different than parenting my daughter. Just like leading this person is different than leading that person. But it just, you just become a different human when you have these other people like looking up to you, watching what you're doing, realizing that they are constantly studying you. For good or bad, right? And also I would say one of the biggest shifts about becoming a mom was that I literally gave birth to 2 of my most important teachers.
Yes.
I mean, Lucas teaches me patience I never knew I needed to have. He also teaches me how to truly read the human.
Yeah.
The individual, and get in their mind and be like, how would this person, like at a basic thing, my husband told him or asked him, go put these sheets upstairs in the bathroom. Well, we have a linen closet outside of the bathroom. So I'm going up there and I'm like, the sheets aren't in here. Where are they? I told him to put them in the bathroom. And I'm like, well, they're not here. And I'm looking all over the house for these sheets. And then I'm like, I stop at the bottom of the stairs. I close my eyes and I'm like, okay, I'm Lucas. Put them in the bathroom. They're in the bathroom.
They're in the bathroom.
They're not in the linen closet. So I go up and I go to the cabinet above the toilet, and there they are. So it's just, it teaches you to get in their mind and on their level. And I think, past generations might not have done such a great job of that. It's like, you're going to do what I tell you to do. You're going to be who I tell you to be. And just allowing them to have their path, guide them, but also like allow them to have their path and to make their decisions. And my daughter's like, Mom, what should I do? And I'm like, honey, what do you want to do? I don't know. I'm like, well, if you did know, what would you do? I'm like, I'm always going to have an opinion.
Right.
Always going to have an opinion. I'm like, but what I'm not going to do is give you my opinion and then you do the opposite. It's like, what do you want to do? Then we can talk through it. If you want to, go well, this is what I want to do. Is that right? Then I'm happy to, coach you through it. But yeah, they're just, it's fascinating giving birth to your teachers.
Yes.
And showing up every day for the lesson. It's beautiful. I'm obsessed with my kids. They're amazing.
Yes. I love that. One thing that you said, because this kind of led to this, there's something you said on Instagram that just hit me, and I want to share it and then just get your thoughts around it. You said, you don't have to measure yourself based on what you have endured.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that one more time. You don't have to measure yourself based on what you have endured.
Yeah.
That feels like it feels very powerful. I feel like a lot of women, especially, need to hear that. And it feels like something that needs to be released before you can move into a next chapter, before you can truly love and appreciate yourself and feel whole.
Yeah. That was with Betsy, wasn't it?
I'm not sure,
I think
but
that was
it just
with it,
was one of those things,
that was
I was doing my research and you said that and it like hit me because
that was a fun episode.
That's a journey I've been on, and you can't move on without letting that go for sure.
Same. And as I mentioned, like I'm doing some really like just awesome, deep, exciting mindset work right now, and I'm doing it too. Like I'm catching myself, going, well, you lost your mom, and your dad did his best, but dad did, and just all the things, and like, okay, but that doesn't define me.
Mm-hmm.
My SAT score doesn't define me.
Yes.
Like all these things don't define us, and yet we let it. When we just let all that go, because we cannot go backwards. I think we need to honor all the past versions of ourselves that got us to where we are today. Thank God they did.
Mm-hmm.
And really, it's also not about, yes, there's part of like future casting and like seeing who you are in the future and imagining and wanting to manifest all of this stuff. There's also just, how am I right now?
Yeah.
Who am I being right now?
Yeah.
Today? What's going, like, what mood did I wake up in? I am so actively doing this myself. So I don't want to sit here and go, oh, you should all do this. I'm doing it with you. I'm so actively doing it with you. But yeah, we do, self-included, we measure ourselves by the things that we survived, and that we got through. And it's like, okay, it's back to the busy. Check the box. Good for you.
Move on.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love your energy.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you for the mirror that you have been to all of us today and all of the wisdom that you've shared. I like to ask one last question. And although you've shared so much wisdom with us, what would you say? You have 10 seconds with someone. This is the only time you're going to be in contact with them. You have 10 seconds to impact their life for the better. What would you say to them?
I would say get out of your head and get into your heart as much as you can. And then I would say, I'm doing it with you.
Yes. Carrie, you don't know how much that hits home. I'm teaching my daughter who's 4, and she'll say a lot of things. She'll be like, oh, my brain. I'd be like, how do you know that? My brain told me. Or like, I think this, and I've a lot been, okay, so your brain said that. Now what does your heart say?
Yeah.
And it's been a beautiful practice because even at 4, there is a difference sometimes, and it's like, unfortunately, we're adults having to train ourselves to do that, but how lucky are our children who will grow up with that influence and already knowing that.
And with the get out of the head and get into the heart, I think it's acknowledge the thought, but then run it through the heart filter to see if it's really true. Because so many times our brain is not telling us. It just wants to keep us safe. It wants to, and which is weird because it's like, well, if it's supposed to keep me safe, why is it being such an asshole to me?
Right.
So
it is.
have the thought, again, honor the thought. Don't go into a spiral of that's so stupid to think that. Like acknowledge the thought, bring it the 12 inches down into the heart, and just go, okay, but how's that thought feel? Does that feel right? Does that feel wrong? What's my body like? What's coming up in my body? I just think
is that actually true?
Yeah,
that's a question I ask. Is that true? Like, wait, is that actually true?
Where's the evidence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I love that. Can you tell people where they can find you? And I think you have a couple fun quizzes that people can take. Tell us how to connect.
Yeah. So I am on Instagram, CD Fabris. I am on LinkedIn. We have our website, careerframe.com. Again, our new website is launching in the next week or two, and I'm excited about that. I have my 2 books on Amazon. Well, again, one's a children's book. Fans are fantastic that I wrote for my son, Lucas. He's obsessed with fans.
I love that.
And All In, a Working Mom's Unapologetic Quest for Juicy Life is out there as well, which just, it helps, gives people, this is my story of just how I went from just super frustrated to just living a really fulfilled life. And again, I'm still working on it. It's always, there's always work. And if you've got the quiz there's the vibe checklist where you can literally go through 4 steps, VIBE, to just see the energy you're putting towards something. Is it worth it or not? And then, we've got some energy kind of audits are more for leadership as far as like how you're showing up as a leader at work. We've got those as well. And so, yeah, please reach out. And our team would love to support your listeners on their leadership journey with their teams and building those team dynamics, and just the impact it makes is priceless.
Perfect. Yeah. I love that. Thank you so much, Carrie. Everyone, all of that will be linked in the show notes so you can find Carrie. This has been such a beautiful conversation.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for all the wisdom you've shared.
Pleasure.
All right. Thanks, guys.